What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and this is your match preview. It's Everton against Manchester United, and again, I know this is late. I know some of you have been messaging me on the Instagram, on the Twitter. Where are you, Mike? What's going on? Another late video. Guys, you know, but honestly, the organising, the sorting of moving house is an absolute nightmare. So, touch wood, we should be completing in a couple of weeks, which means I can crack on with the studio, and which means we can start getting more regular content back again. And I'm not flying around by the seat of my pants, because at the minute it's busy, it's just busy. So apologies, but I've been very open and honest with you. It's been the same now for a couple of months. It's just getting that moving going. Once that's done, you'll have regular content. You'll probably have 4 videos a week again. But at the minute, I'm trying to stick to match previews, match reactions, and the occasional video in the week. Let's get into the match preview. By the way, I will be sitting in the top balcony for anyone that wants to come and say hello tomorrow. Big game. And it's a big game for a couple of reasons. One, it's an opportunity for Everton to show. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say show what they're about. This is a Manchester United side that have been a bit hit and miss this season. I think that's fair to say. Can score 3 goals against Manchester City but concede 6. Were not very good midweek. In a game where they were actually losing at one point to a team that, no disrespect, I've never heard of. So that was interesting. And Manchester United, they just don't appear, again, touch wood, to be firing. You know, I saw Rashford score a goal and Martial scored a goal. So ordinarily, you'd expect them both to play against Everton because they've got that pace, they've got that a bit of creativity which could cause Everton problems. You know, we've got Seamus Coleman, who is going to be playing his second game of the season. But obviously, he hasn't played lots of football. He's obviously at the later stages of his career, and it's whether he can contain the two of them. And that's the challenge, isn't it? And this is where Manchester United will want to look for weak points. But Everton will be doing the same. Everton will go into this game thinking, right, Manchester United, if we can dominate their midfield, which I know possession-wise you would possibly argue that Everton haven't dominated many games, but actually I would argue that we haven't massively looked in danger in a lot of games either. So when I look at the midfield of Garner and Anana and Iwobi, with some of the strength that we've also got on the bench in terms of Garner as well, it's a positive. Like it is a true positive of where Everton are. And when Tarkowski and Cody at the back as well, Everton have only lost 2 games for a reason this season. Our defensive record is the best in the Premier League for a reason. Everton can go into this game with confidence. Lampard come out the other day and said DCL's in contention. Now look, he probably won't start, but if he gets half an hour at the end, fair enough. You know, it gives us another dynamic. It gives us the option to play the ball into the box aerially. You know, Manchester United defensively look all over the place, whether they play Martinez or Maguire or whoever, to be quite honest. They have looked ropey. Even the keeper, he has looked... He's looked ropey as well. You know, this isn't the same De Gea that we saw 5 years ago. This is a De Gea that all of a sudden doesn't fill me with confidence, or wouldn't fill me with confidence as a Manchester United fan. So I think that'll be quite interesting to see how much pressure we put on him. Everton have proven they can take on teams. You know, we've got a draw against Liverpool. We weren't outplayed by Chelsea. So Everton can get a result. I have no hidden thing around Everton not being able to get a result. I think we can, and I think we should be really positive about that, because Everton go into this game on this run of form, unbeaten in 7, and yeah, albeit maybe we've only got 1-2 wins in that time. But do you know what? It's all momentum building, and I go to Goodison tomorrow, and the fans will be behind them. It'll be loud, it'll be ferocious, it'll be aggressive, like always. Like always, over the last 12 months, Everton fans, we've been brilliant in welcoming the team in and supporting the players, etc. So it will be great. And Manchester United just aren't going to know what's hit them. You know, when Anana gets on the ball and he turns and he looks up and he's got his physicality, his aggression, brilliant. Iwobi's looked like a different player this season. How can Manchester United contain him? Can they control him? Will McFred or whoever plays in the middle, will they be able to deal with him? Who knows? You know, is it going to be a Ronaldo show where he doesn't turn up? He hits the bar, he's all over the place. Will it be a show where Fernandes can't get in the side or he's brilliant? You know, we don't know what to expect from Manchester United, but what we do know to expect from Everton is hard work, aggression, Mikalenko being strong fairly defensively on the left-hand side, Coleman not being silly. He'll play the ball back a lot, but this is where Cody and Tarkowski have to be switched on. Pickford got to be switched on, but that's fine. The three in the middle, no, they're going to have to work hard, be combative. You know, if Manchester United are going to go for pace in Martial, Rashford and Sancho, for example, they need to be switched on to that and support the players at the back. They know that. This isn't me giving you manager 101 sessions. This is what everyone knows. So everyone sort of knows how Manchester United will play. It's just how you can mitigate the situation and deal with it, and then as a result, go forward and get something yourself. And Everton will be confident in doing that. You know, we've got pace ourselves in Damari Gray and Gordon, who I want to see more from. You know, Neil Maupay's been okay since he's come in, not brilliant, but he's been okay. You know, whether it's McNeil, want to see more from McNeil, but more of that driving forward, more of that shooting, more of that on-the-spot ability. And then you've got the ability of Calvert-Lewin. When if you whip the ball into the box, you hope that Calvert-Lewin can get ahead on it and score the goal. I am really confident that Everton will not lose tomorrow. I'm not going to sit here and 100% say we're going to win either. But I do not go into games now thinking Everton are going to get warts all over, because I don't think that. I don't think that at all. And I don't think that in lots of the fixtures that are coming up. We're playing some tough sides that are scoring lots of goals and decent sides. We've got Newcastle, for example, coming up. Spurs, for example, coming up. But I'm not scared. It's just, I'm not scared about conceding. I'm scared about the amount of goals we're going to score, because that's the one weakness of this side. We don't appear to have that. I think if you had a couple of 30, 40, 50 million pound wingers on the wing, it's a different Everton team. It's a different Everton team, because Damari Gray's great to a degree. Anthony Gordon is great to a degree. And I'm not slagging either of them off for that. Anthony Gordon's a young player. Damari Gray has played in the same sort of style now for the best part of 10 years of his career. It's very difficult for him to change and all of a sudden release the ball quicker or get down the bar line and whip in a higher ball so somebody can cross the ball. He's someone that cuts in on the right foot and shoots, maybe holds on, slows the play down. That is him, and that won't change. You know, it's very different, these dynamics. Andros Townsend, for example, I'm not going to sit here and say he's brilliant, but what he tends to do is he tends to just get it onto his left foot or right foot and whip the ball into the box, and that's what he does, and that's what's different. And that's what I think we need a little bit more of to cater for Calvert-Lewin coming back. Maupay will come short. He'll pick up the ball. He won't be strengthened aerially. He won't do that. He won't bully the Manchester United defenders. He won't. But he'll pick little pockets. Maupay is more like what Tim Cahill used to be. A little shit, a little snide, somebody that would just get in the gap and find something, you know, and get you 9, 10 goals a season. You know, I know Cahill occasionally scored a few more, but that is kind of what he is. He's not as good aerially, but he just finds that little pocket of space, and sometimes when he finds that pocket of space, he scores a goal, like he did against West Ham, for example. And that's what he reminds me of, but he does not remind me of an out-and-out number 9 centre-forward, like a Wayne Rooney, an Alan Shearer, a Harry Kane, if you want to come down a few levels, a Kevin Campbell, you know, a Sylvain Wiltord, a Calvert-Lewin. He doesn't strike me as any of those. He strikes me as a player that comes short, and that is fine, but Everton have to learn different ways of playing, and we've got that. We've absolutely now got that in the dressing room. This game is one of those games where I think, you know what? A Calvert-Lewin coming in, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whether it be a start or coming on at the end or whatever, could cause Man United real problems, and we've got to welcome him back fundamentally, because, you know, people have got their opinions on Calvert-Lewin, you know, his injury record recently over the last 12 months, 18 months. And I get it. I personally don't think he's been the same since he was picked for England in the World Cup and didn't get a sniff. He didn't get a sniff. I don't, still to this day, think that really affected him mentally. I really do. But it is what it is, because he's got to move on. Everton have got to move on. Us as fans have got to find a way of moving on. And whatever your opinion is of Calvert-Lewin, when he walks on that pitch tomorrow, at any point, warm up, training, running up and down the touchline, coming onto the pitch, 110%. We've got to back him. We've got to back him. And if he gets a chance, you've just got to hope that he shows that little bit of quality that he had a couple of years ago, consistently, 15 goals in the season a couple of times. You've got to hope that he brings that to the fore, and he delivers that, and he's aggressive with that, and he does what he needs to do to get in the right spaces, etc., and to win that flick on if we need, and somebody to run in behind, etc. We know Everton can play long balls, play short balls, hit balls to the edge of the box, put balls across the box. I've seen all of it this season. I've seen balls flash across the box with nobody there. I've seen balls come to the edge of the box and Malpay scoring a half volley. I've seen balls bounce to the ends of the box and Mikalenko following up with a volley. I've seen shots from outside the box. So I know all of a sudden we can play and shoot from different areas. I've seen balls 80 yards over the defenders' heads for Anthony Gordon and Damari Gray to finish, to equalise, to score goals. There is lots of positives. And that we have to turn up and take into this game. Because if Everton start taking this into this game and they beat Manchester United tomorrow, then there won't be any of this, oh yeah, Everton have got a decent defensive record, and it's not spoken about. There will be some credit given to Everton because they deserve credit. Frank Lampard deserves external credit at this point because he's made us resilient, he's made us more solid, and the football isn't pretty. It's not brilliant at times. But we're unbeaten in 7 in the Premier League, or in all competitions. We don't concede loads of goals. We're fairly aggressive. We've got players that will play for the team, play for the shirt. You know, we saw that the other week. We saw that against Southampton. Block after block after block. Those players were there every single time. They were there. Same happened against West Ham when balls were coming in, you know, from players out wide, for example, like Bowen. Players were there. And this is the difference between last season and this season. Everton are a much different proposition. We are a much more tough cookie to crack. We won't just crumble. We're solid. We're stale. We are stale. We are a stale cookie that does not break. Touch wood. And if Everton can get 3 points tomorrow, I think all of a sudden people will say, this Everton team's a bit different. This Everton team's going in the right direction. And look, I don't all of a sudden expect us to be challenging for Europe. I'm not saying that. But I don't expect us to be finishing 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th or 16th. I expect Everton to do okay. And if we can get to something like 13 points after 8 or 9 games in the season, I'm a little bit more confident that we can win a few more football matches and we can go and continue to deliver and push forward. There's a lot of things going off behind the scenes. Different people potentially interested in buying the football club. Some people interested in putting it on this exchange, and some people, property owners, etc., in Kaminsky family. There's lots of things going on behind the scenes at Everton. But the facts are, all we need at the minute, as 4 fans, is for that team to deliver. And if they deliver, we'll be buzzing. I would do my 2.5 hour trip home at 10 o'clock at night tomorrow night, because the game being on a 7 o'clock on a Sunday is pathetic, by the way. I'll do that trip. I'll do that journey. I'll come home. I'll be in bed for 1 o'clock, and I will be buzzing. I'll be happy. I'll be jubilant, because this Everton side, they've got something different than last season, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So, guys, look, I'm leaving it there. Score prediction. I'm going 2-1 Everton. I'm going 2-1 Everton. I think we win tomorrow. Team. I don't change the team. I don't change the team. Coleman obviously has to start right back because Patterson's out. I don't change it. Malpay probably plays for 60 minutes. And depending on where we are, Calvert-Lewin comes on. Whether that be a straight swap for Malpay or whatever. Maybe drop one of the midfielders, for example. Doesn't really matter. The key thing tomorrow, defensively strong, use our pace over the top. That, in my opinion, wins us this football match. Guys, keeping it there. Peace.